Yeah. Fired up. This one's for the drivers.
Out in the shop, late night lights, grease on our hands, chasing lap times. Every turn, every line we find, trying to build that edge you feel when you drive. From the blacktop tracks to the dirt out back, we've been putting in work, yeah, we live like that. Not just fast for a lap, we make it last. So when it counts, you're gone on the gas. We don't guess, we know what it takes. Every set of build from the ground we break. If you want that feel when the car locks in, you're in the right place. Let's go in. Yeah, we built for the win. Hammer down, let it ride, do it all again. From the green flag flying to the checkered drop, we're the reason you're leading Tier 1 setup shop. Tier 1, take it straight to the front. League nights, open runs, we're the ones you want. Dialed in speed, yeah, we don't miss shots. If you want to win races, Tier 1 setup shop. Got weekly sets ready to roll. Quality trim sharp, race pace control. Builders in the lab, yeah, they stay on it. Every tweak, every change, we gain on it. Need a custom fit, yeah, we do that too. Built to match your style, what you like to do. And it ain't just speed, it's a team right here. We ride together every lap, every gear. Yeah, we test, we tone, we put in the miles. Turn bad weeks into victory smiles. From rookies to pros, we're all about growth. Now fire that motor, let's get to the front. Yeah, we built for the win. Hammer down, let it ride, do it all again. From the green flag flying to the checkered drop, we're the reason you're leading Tier 1 setup shop. Tier 1, yeah, you know the name. When the pressure's on, we bring the game. From the shop to the track, yeah, we don't stop. If you wanna win races, Tier 1 setup shop. Setup shop.
Looking to take your racing to the next level? You need speed and you need style. At Tier 1 Setup Shop, we'll help you hit the track with total confidence. We provide race-winning setups for all three eNASCAR series, Cup, Xfinity, and trucks, plus a huge variety of asphalt oval cars. We've also brought that performance to the dirt. Winged and non-winged sprint cars, micro sprints, dirt midgets, all built by racers who know how to win. And now, get the perfect look. We offer professional wraps and graphics with Tier 1 wraps. Multiple feature artists make it easy to find a design to fit your exact needs and budget. Get what you need when you need it with individual setup purchases, or get full weekly access with a Tier 1 subscription. Tier 1 Setup Shop. You're more than a customer, you're part of the team. Looking to take your
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Tier 1 Studios. My name's Pat Wilkinson, up in the booth. Joining me tonight for the second time today are the voices inside my head, alongside my good friends, myself and I, as we join the Wild West Racing League Raiders Wasteland Truck Series here at Daytona International Superspeedway. But we are not going restrictor plate racing tonight. Oh no. 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 We are going road course racing here at the World Center of Racing on the NASCAR configuration of the road course here at Daytona International Superspeedway. Going up from I believe it is a 12-corner course to a 15-corner course with the added chicane right off of turn 4 in the short chute for 25 laps of racing out here tonight with the Wild West Racing League. Couple of trucks having a good night so far. Keith Fonseca, Will Moore, Keith Ayers, Chris Etchapar, Derek Holochak we're on board with now, Brighton Coleman, Tanner Enzyme, Russ Marciniak, Justin Bell, Mike Presley. Only 10 trucks going to be starting the race out here tonight. Going to be an interesting race regardless, going to have some fun. Unfortunately, not a lot of life from the G Lightning Motorsports team drivers. Michael Loveless showing up at the last moment once again in the number 68 machine. Getting ready to go racing out here tonight at the World Center of Racing. I believe it is a 25-lap race here at Daytona. Final 2 minutes of practice just starting now. This broadcast is brought to you in part by WYO Outlaw Custom Diecast, the Stanford Foundation, Redline Radio, and Raiders Wasteland, the premier DayZ experience on Xbox, veteran-owned and operated. Raiders Wasteland offering something for every gamer looking to survive the zombie apocalypse. Weekly events for PvE and PvP players in different maps for all to enjoy. Join the Discord today at Raider PvE, RAIDER PvE. Broadcast is also brought to you in part by Rock Bottom Racing, Tier 1 Wraps, Tier 1 Setup Shops, and Tier 1 Studios here on YouTube. Apparently I have royally screwed up my static cameras, so we're going to have to roll on with TV3 for the night. It'll be fine. Riding around with the 29 of Will Moore, currently in second. Coming down to the final few seconds of practice here at Daytona. Everybody getting ready to go racing out here tonight at the World Center of Racing. We head into qualifying. Justin Bell going to be the first car to brave the course out here. Let's actually go up to Russ Marciniak in the number 27 Toyota Nephilim. Children of the Fallen, number 27. We begin rolling around the racetrack and get warmed up in these Truck Series cars. On to the banks we go with number 27 on his warm-up lap, trying to get that truck warmed up as best as they can. All the way up to the high side, off a turn 2, down the backstretch, into the bus stop chicane we go. 27 of Russ Marciniak. Over the curbs, big hit over the curbs, managed to get it recovered, flipping them a little bit again, and spinning it out. Respawning for Russ Marciniak. We'll go on down and actually remember to do that before I forget to do that. Go over to Keith Fonseca in the Monster number 61 over the curbs. Winding that baby back up to top speed into turns 3 and 4 here on the beautiful banking of Daytona International Superspeedway. Through the second chicane, right at the start-finish line. Back into the tri-oval we go. Opening lap for Keith Fonseca. Green flag is in the air for the number 61 truck. Down into turn 1. Sweeping right-hander into turn 2. Turns 3 and 4 just ahead of him. Kink right and kink left. Down the stretch into turn 5. All the way around into turn 6. Sweeping left-hand kink. Trying to keep the speed up very sideways off of the left-hander into the right-hand hairpin. This is going to be a race all about who's got what setup on their truck and how well that setup works. Around the final few corners of the infield circuit, back onto the oval we all know and love so well, through turns 1 and 2, and down the backstretch we go, trying to wind up this car, get set up for the bus stop. Braking nice and early. Over the curbs again, trying to be a little aggressive without going overboard. Beautiful run over the curbs from Keith Fonseca. 61 back through turns 3 and 4, trying to keep the momentum going in this truck. Off of turn 4 into the second chicane, keeping it wide off of the big curbs off the bottom of the chicane, past the restart zone and across the start-finish line. Keith Fonseca up to 4th, Mike Presley in 5th, Keith Ayers in 3rd, Chris Echapar in 4th now. Michael Loveless up to 2nd, Will Moore in the 29 up to 1st, Chris Echapar up to 4th, Russ Marciniak and Derek Holochak on track. We jump over to Tanner Ensign. Hey, he did make one. Hey, I see you, Tanner. What a... you sly dog. He made a Bigfoot scheme for the number 44 truck as he goes completely on around the curbs, trying to run the super speedway layout as best as he can back up onto the bank. Kept it off the wall. Number 44 WIO Outlaw Custom Diecast Bigfoot F-150. Trying his best to run the NASCAR circuit and set a flying lap. Tanner Ensign failed to set a flying lap, but tries to go through turn 1 and completely sends it too hard. 44 of Tanner Ensign backwards and going back down to pit road. Thanks, Tanner. I see that. Well played. Russ Marciniak, up to 8th. Holochak yet to set a time. Waiting on the end of qualifying out here tonight. Keith Fonseca still out on track. Russ Marciniak, Derek Holochak also on track. Justin Bell yet to set a time. Michael Loveless out of nowhere with a 1:55.639. Will Moore half a second back. Keith Ayers a second and a third. Chris Etchepar a second and 3/4. Keith Fonseca 3 3/4. Brighton Coleman 6. Mike Presley 9.7. Russ Marciniak 12.5. Holochak 1 second behind Michael Loveless. Not sure what Keith Fonseca is up to. He's just running laps for the sake of doing it. Waiting on the end of qualifying to roll on over. Wrong button. 17 seconds left in qualifying. Qualifying coming to a close, 25 laps here at Daytona International Super Speedway. Oh, we have a warm-up? How long's the warm-up? We have a 5-minute warm-up? Tanner, why? Alright, well, I guess we're going to give it a shot and show you all what it's like to try and drive around this just over 2-mile circuit. Try being the key word there. Give you all the in-truck point of view of what your drivers are going to be seeing out here tonight at Daytona International Super Speedway, the world center of racing. Very hard on the brake, well, trying not to spin it out like that. A lot more gentle on the throttle than that. Then again, I am also very aggressive on the throttle, which is my main flaw at road course racing in these cars. Hold it in third, let off nice and early. Brake a little bit harder. Being able to heel toe is going to be crucial here, which is something I do not have the skill to do. Braking nice and early into the next turn. Please try to send the car out of the way so we don't hit anybody else. Hear and feel the car bottoming out from underneath you as you pick up some speed down into the backstretch. There's the 3 marker. There it is. 3, 2, 1, into the bus stop. That actually went better than I thought it would. Plowing all the way down into the bottom of the racetrack, remembering that there is an extra turn right here. Very inconveniently placed. Oh, big hit. Oh, bigger hit. Didn't count as an X, so we're good. Down into turn 1. Without doing that. So we're going to leave that to the professionals, I think. Perfect. Perfect little pirouette there. All good. Waiting on the end of the warm-up session to get going here. Before we get going racing out here tonight at Daytona. As warm-up comes to a close, we head over to the race itself. 25 laps here at the World Center of Racing. We'll just jump on track to help speed up the gridding process. Justin Bell, out of nowhere, in the number 8, managing to join the session at the last possible second. We wait to get gridding underway here at Daytona. This broadcast is brought to you in part by WIO Outlaw Custom Diecast, the Stand for Wit Foundation, Redline Radio, and Raiders Wasteland, the premier DayZ experience on Xbox, veteran-owned and operated. Raiders Wasteland offering something for every gamer looking to survive the zombie apocalypse. Weekly events for PvE and PvP players in different maps for all to enjoy. Join the Discord today at Raider PvE, RAIDER PvE. Broadcast also brought to you in part by Rock Bottom Racing, Tier 1 Wraps, Tier 1 Setup Shops, and Tier 1 Studios here on YouTube. Pace Car's lights are off, just under half a lap to get these trucks warmed up and up to speed out here at Daytona. Michael Loveless on the point, Will Moore, Derek Holochak, Keith Ayers, Chris Etchapar, Keith Fonseca, Russ Marciniak, Brighton Coleman, Tanner Ensline, Mike Presley, and Justin Bell down in 11th. Oh, everyone else's paint job loaded on the active grid, but not mine. Ugh. Riding on board with Michael Loveless in the Meals on Wheels of America, number 68 Water Wheel Foundation Toyota Tundra. Over the curbs into the final chicane we go. Pace car getting ready to dive down pit road. There it goes. Michael Loveless on the point. Green flag, green flag, green flag is in the air. We are racing out here tonight at the World Center of Racing. 29 of Will Moore with a great jump. Down into turn 1 we go, braking nice and early, trying to get these trucks settled in fast, knowing just how understeery and very heavy these are gonna be tonight. Off of turn 1 and into 2, 3, and 4. Whoa! Russ Marciniak backwards in turn 1. Not the way he would have wanted to start this race. Roll around through the next few turns and into the left-hand king. Russ Marciniak just to the back of your screen there. 29 of Will Moore leading the way, almost 150 miles an hour. Braking nice and late, managing to get the rotation he needed around this next hairpin. A little too much though, overdrove it and spins it out. Michael Loveless back up to the lead. Trying to keep this truck settled. Number 68 Toyota Tundra all the way up to the high side of the banking and right back down. 89 of Derek Holochak right on his heels, trying to keep up. Down through turns 1 and 2 of the NASCAR side of things. Into the bus stop we go. 68 of Loveless missing the bus stop. Going to have a slowdown penalty. Trying to stay up on the high side to serve it as best as he can, winding that truck up. 140, 150, 160, 89 of Holochak starting to reel him in. Keith Fonseca a full second back into the second chicane. Just before the start-finish line. Top 5 all within striking range of each other. 89 with a better run off of the chicane, trying to challenge the 68 of Michael Loveless into turn 1. 89 taking it nice and wide, trying to get that run to stick. Can't quite make it happen. A couple trucks further in the back having a problem. Justin Bell, Mike Presley, and Will Moore having a bit of a moment. 29 on board with now. 4 of Brighton Coleman right there with him. 4 up into the wall. 0 of Mike Presley forgot the brakes and forgot the chicane and destroyed Will Moore into the second chicane. Michael Loveless starting to fall back to the 89 and now the 61. 19 of Keith Ayers starting to reel him in. Maybe his qualifying setup was just that setup a little bit better, or was put together a little bit better than his race setup. We will have to see out here tonight. Back onto the banking. 19 starting to fall back from Loveless. Let's go on down to Brighton Coleman in the RB's number 4. Whoa! 44 of Tanner Ensign around in the Bigfoot F-150. WYO F-150, I should say. It is. It's Bigfoot colors. You know what I mean. Brighton Coleman down the backstretch. 44 Ensign right there behind him, trying to reel him back in. Holochak we jump up board to, braking perfectly into the second chicane. 61 of Keith Fonseca right in front of the 68 of Michael Loveless. Keith Ayers trying to reel them in, almost a full second behind Loveless. 89 of Holochak starting to really pull away here. He's 1.5 seconds up on Keith Fonseca. 23 laps to go. And our Ensign with another reported incident, managing to get things rolling again. Oop, wrong button. Will Moore down in 11th at the moment. Oop, that's only one. That's one. 44 seconds behind the leader, Mike Presley, ahead of him. About 5 seconds ahead. Russ Marciniak, 2 or 3 seconds ahead of Mike Presley. Justin Bell, not having a good day. He's backwards in the next turn ahead of him. And still spinning it out, managing to evade the 27. Trying to get that truck rolling again. There he goes. Mike Presley and Tanner Ensign further up the road. Just leaving the chicane now. I love the fact that Tanner found the Bigfoot text. I really love how that truck came out. This might be my favorite WIO Outlaw Customs ICAST number 44 truck of Tanner Ensign in the Ford F-150 Bigfoot-inspired machine. Justin Bell crashing again and getting towed back to pit road. I think he's had just about enough, and personally, I don't blame him out here tonight. .44 Ensign through turns 3 and 4. Let's jump back up to Michael Lovelace. Whoa, 89 around. 89 of Derek Holochak's backwards in the grass, trying to get back onto the racetrack. At that point, Derek, you just keep on going. Just go straight across the grass and just drive on. Michael Lovelace back up to the lead. Keith Fonseca right there behind him, less than a second behind. Starting to pull back a little bit, though. 19 of Keith Ayers falling back a little bit further as well. Apologies. There we go. Lovelace 1.4 ahead of Fonseca. Fonseca second and a half ahead of Ayers. Keith Ayers almost 3 seconds ahead of Chris Etchepar. Etchepar 2 seconds ahead of Holochak. Holochak is, I don't know how to put this, 20 seconds ahead of Brighton Coleman. Coleman's 6 seconds ahead of Tanner Ensign. Ensign is 8 seconds ahead of Marciniak. Moore is about a second behind Marciniak. Mike Presley is 5 seconds behind Will Moore. And Justin Bell, I believe, has had enough of the race today as he is down pit road. I believe he has called it a night with 22 laps to go here at Daytona. Lovelace down into turns 1 and 2 again. Through the next handful of turns and around the hairpin, heading back around into the final hairpin before getting back onto the NASCAR turns 1 and 2. Again, folks, it's going to be a very quiet night for a broadcast. I apologize in advance for that. Not much I'm able to do about it when the racing just gets to be so one-sided after a while. Not much I can really do about it. 68 of Michael Lovelace still leading the way with 21 laps to go. Michael Loveless 4 seconds ahead of Keith Ayers now. Keith Fonseca crashing. Now down in third behind Keith Ayers. Ayers trying to reel him in. 89 of Holochek starting to catch up to Fonseca in the number 61. Down through turns 1 and 2 into 3. Setting up nice and wide into turn 4. Jump down a little bit further to Brighton Coleman in the number 4, just coming around the start-finish line now. 20 laps to go. For Coleman through the infield section. Trying to get that car situated and settled in out here tonight with the Wild West Racing League Raiders Wasteland Truck Series, brought to you in part by WIO Outlaw Custom Diecast, the Stanford Witt Foundation, Redline Radio, and Raiders Wasteland, the premier DayZ experience on Xbox, veteran owned and operated. Raiders Wasteland offering something for every gamer looking to survive the zombie apocalypse. Weekly events for PvE and PvP players in different maps for all to enjoy. Join the Discord today at Raider PvE, RAIDER PvE. Will Moore towing back to pit road. He is thoroughly wrecked it, so let's go back and take a look. Okay, so how about you show us where he actually crashed? Thanks. He already had a lot of damage from something. He really hit the hell out of something here. He already had right side damage. Overdrove it into the next turn, locked up the brakes, and just pummeled the tire walls. Nothing he could really do about it. Michael Loveless in the lead still by 3 seconds on Keith Ayers. Back up onto the banks, 19 laps to go. $18 laps to go. Will Moore, I believe, may be out of this race. He is still down pit road with plenty of damage. Justin Bell is also out. Michael Loveless now up another lap on Will Moore. Keith Fonseca, Derek Holochak, and Keith Ayers in formation behind him. Chris Etchepar just coming through the tri-oval now. Brighton Coleman. Brighton Coleman just going through turn 1 and 2 on the NASCAR loop now. Tanner Ensign down through the bus stop with Russ Marciniak right behind him. 0 of Mike Presley right behind them. Wait, what? How is Brighton... Oh, 61 of Keith Fonseca into the wall. Will Moore back out on the racetrack. Doesn't seem that the 61 has been damaged with 18 laps. Oh, I say that. Left side on the front. Very big damage. Back onto the banking with Keith Fonseca in the number 61 machine. Yeah, folks, sorry that it's a very dry broadcast. Will Moore and Russ Marciniak having a moment going off the racetrack. Marciniak trying to reel in the 44. Tanner Ensign just ahead of him in the WYO Outlaw number 44. .44 holding off this 27 truck just behind him. Start seeing some traffic behind. Mike Presley just off of turn 2 now. Will Moore just going through the tri-oval. Michael Lovelace just leaving the infield section now with 17 laps to go. Derek Holochak right on his heels. Keith Ayers just a few seconds behind him. Chris Echepar falling back quite hard there through these last few turns. Back out onto the banking. Keith Fonseca behind the 29 lap car of Will Moore. Brighton Coleman further back. Russ Marciniak getting past Tanner Ensign down into turn 1. Through the tri-oval. Mike Presley just entering the tri-oval now, and Will Moore about to go a lap down from Chris Echepar. Russ Marciniak with a crash. Through the tri-oval we go down into turn 1. Overshoots the corner. Hopefully kept it off the wall. Yes, he did. Didn't even hit the grass. And 27 backwards in the grass. Speaking of, Derek Holochak down pit road. Michael Lovelace still leading the way out here tonight. 16 laps to go. Michael Lovelace still leading the way, just leaving the infield section now, once again, around the hairpin. Keith Ayers, 5.5 seconds behind Chris Echepar, over 10 seconds behind him. Derek Holochak, 10 seconds behind Echepar. Keith Fonseca, 20 seconds behind Holochak. Brighton Coleman, another 20 behind him. Tanner Ensign, another 20 behind him. Mike Presley, almost 8 seconds behind Tanner Ensign. And Marciniak down 3 seconds off of Mike Presley. Will Moore down 1 lap. Justin Bell is out, and obviously I'm up in the booth. 68 of Loveless down pit road this time with 15 laps to go. Keith Ayers and Chris Etchepar following him in. Derek Holochak big time over the curbs. Will become your race leader unless Michael Loveless gets a move on. Russ Marciniak off the racetrack. Holochak still leading the way, 6 seconds ahead of Michael Loveless. Apologies for that. Again, not much to talk about, and I keep having things appear on my other screens here I need to be taking care of, so it's all good. 14 laps to go. Michael Loveless just the edge of your screens there. Couple trucks off of pit road this time. Hopefully everybody has enough to make it back around to the end of this race. Mike Presley, last car on the lead lap. Tanner Ensign just ahead of him. I say that by 10 seconds. Ensign behind Coleman by 30 seconds. Coleman almost 20. No, that's over 30 seconds behind Chris Etchepar. Etchepar is 6 seconds behind Fonseca. Fonseca and Ayers are actually pretty close together, so let's jump over to that. 61 and the 19 down into turns 1 and 2. Laps to go. Derek Holochak still leading the way. Michael Loveless in second, just entering turn 3 now, trying to run him down. Loveless, excuse me, ahead of Mike Presley. Whoa! Mike Presley for a yard sale across the infield, just behind turn 3 and 4 there. 68 of Loveless with 13 laps to go. Currently in second place, trying to run down the 89 of Derek Holacek just at the edge of your screen there. Slowly reeling him in 3.5 seconds and gaining through turns 3 and 4. Here at the World Center Racing, Daytona International Super Speedway. Again, folks, sorry that it's not the most interesting broadcast. Keith Fonseca ahead of Keith Ayers. It's the Keith and Keith show out here tonight. 61 up to third. Ayers in the 19 down to fourth where he started. Derek Holacek still leading the way. Michael Loveless reeling him in. Out from the infield. 12 laps to go with Derek Holacek. Jump back down to Brighton Coleman. Last car on the lead lap now. Tanner Ensign down a lap. Will Moore, Russ Marciniak, Mike Presley, Justin Bell out of the race as the 4 completely misses the chicane. Eleven laps to go. Derek Holacek with a crash. Michael Loveless back up into the lead of this race. Trying to round this out here at Daytona. Holacek 12 seconds behind. Keith Fonseca reeling him in fast. Ayers within 2 seconds of Keith Fonseca. Chris Etchepar still over 10 seconds behind Keith Ayers, down in 5th. Out here tonight at the World Center Racing. I think I have a proposal for next season. Considering how this race has gone and is going, and how the Gen 4 race has gone and went, I think we need to go to smaller road courses where it is a lot more difficult to make the moves, or more challenging road courses. Michael Loveless still leading the way. 10 laps to go here at Daytona. Michael Loveless through these final few turns here on the infield section. Jump inside the cockpit. Take a look at what he's seeing for a little while here. Down the backstretch, braking way late. He's braver than I am. Braking right at the 2 board. Nine laps to go this time by. Will Moore with a crash from Marciniak jumping to pit road. Facing backwards in the bus stop. Clipped the curves a little too hard on the outside into turn 1 and just lost it on the exit. Russ Marciniak with a problem, so let's jump on over to him. 27 down into turn 3, or turn 5, excuse me. Up into the grass, spinning it out just a little bit, managed to recover it over the runoff area. Down the stretch towards the kink. Trying to keep the speed up. Braking nice and early, trying to get that truck slowed on down. Around the turn, slides it out a little bit again, clips the grass, still sideways, up and around, pirouette through the grass. I believe at this point he has had enough. He gets towed back to pit road. Lamore just leaving pit road now. Michael Loveless off of turn 2. Michael Loveless back down pit road again. Keith Fonseca down pit road again. Chris Echepar. Keith Ayers actually leading the way. Excuse me. 8 laps to go. 19 of Keith Ayers through the final chicane. Through turns 1 and 2 into 3 and 4, down towards turn 5. Just exiting 3 now. Into turn 4. Around the corner into the turn 5 left-hand kink with 7 laps to go. I don't know what anyone wants me to do here in this situation. I'm not to be honest. Not much really for me to be doing at this point. This broadcast brought to you in part by WIO Outlaw Custom Diecast, the Stanford Wood Foundation, Redline Radio, and Raiders Wasteland, the premier DayZ experience on Xbox. Veteran owned and operated. Raiders Wasteland offering something for every gamer looking to survive the zombie apocalypse. Weekly events for PvE and PvP players, and different maps for all to enjoy. Join the Discords today at Raider PvE, RAIDER PvE. Keith Ayers down pit road this time with 6 laps to go. Mike Presley with a crash. Where's my mouse? Thank you. Michael Loveless just coming through the chicane now. Six laps to go here at Daytona. Michael Loveless back in the lead. Through the infield section and back onto the oval. Down through the bus stop into turns 3 and 4 we go with Michael Loveless still trying to lead the way out here tonight at Daytona. Back into the second of last chicane, 5 laps to go. In this race, Michael Loveless just destroying the field, 3.5 seconds ahead of Derek Holochak. Keith Fonseca 8 seconds behind. Keith Ayers 23 behind. Chris Etchepar 29 behind. Brighton Coleman, Tanner Ensign, and Mike Presley all down 1. Will Moore down 4. Russ Marciniak down 5. Justin Bell out of the race in the first handful of laps. Me, Pat Wilkinson up in the booth. Another very quiet broadcast out here tonight with Tier 1 and the Wild West Racing League. I apologize for that. don't like doing this kind of broadcast where it's just like, well, the whole field's so far apart there's not much to talk about. Tanner Ensign with the spin. Time sheet anyway. The WIO Outlaw Custom Diecast number 44 Bigfoot inspired truck. I'm so happy I pitched that idea to him. It's like, well, that'd be a pretty nice looking truck. Yep, just overshot the last corner off of the infield. Nothing you can do about it at this point. Oh, okay. So that's what that looks like. So I can use that for next time, because I am an idiot and I keep forgetting to put that on. Oops. Four laps to go for Michael Loveless, trying to win out here tonight at Daytona. Gotta be honest, it's not seeming like he's going to have much opposition at this point, as Derek Holochak is now falling back once again. Mike Presley down pit road this time. Tanner Ensign just leaving pit road. No competition left for Michael Loveless. He charges down through turns 1 and 2. Three laps to go for Michael Loveless. Keith Fonseca up to second now, 9 seconds behind Derek Holochak. Hot on his heels, though. Keith Ayers, 23 seconds behind the leader. 26 seconds behind the leader, excuse me. '89 of Holochak trying to run down the 61 of Keith Fonseca just ahead of him off of the last hairpin of the infield section. Through turns 1 and 2, trying to keep that truck going out here tonight at Daytona International Superspeedway. And I'm trying to do everything I can to make this as interesting as possible. There's just not much to talk about. So, again, I apologize for that. 89 of Holochak trying to run down the 61 just ahead of him. 2 laps to go from Michael Loveless. 10 seconds ahead of both Fonseca and Holochak. They both roll through the tri-oval. 89 trying to get on the inside of the 61, switching up to the outside. Jump back on board with Michael Loveless as we go back to gyro cam once again. Down into the bus stop, Chris Echapar and Tanner Ensign both with a wreck. Not together, but maybe. I have no idea. Who knows anymore? As Michael Loveless runs around the racetrack trying to take the checkered flag this time, or the white flag this time by 16 of Echapar. Through the final chicane, spins it out. Tanner Ensign. This is off of turn 4. I believe he's going to do the exact same thing. Yes, he does. Overshoots his braking marker and sends it. White flag is out for Michael Loveless out here tonight at Daytona International Superspeedway. Trying to round out this race here tonight at Daytona. Back onto the NASCAR oval for Michael Loveless. Into turns 1 and 2 we go. Back into turns 3 and 4 from Michael Loveless. Just needs to get back around into the final chicane and cross the start-finish line to win out here tonight at Daytona International Superspeedway. Again, folks, I really do apologize for how dry this broadcast has been. Not a whole lot I will have been able to do about it. '68 of Michael Loveless comes across and wins right at the start-finish line and immediately stops the truck and signs off Keith Fonseca, Derek Holochak, Keith Ayers, Chris Echapar, Brighton Coleman, Tanner Ensign, Mike Presley, and Will Moore. Russ Marciniak, Justin Bell did not finish out here tonight. Let's get Michael Loveless in here. Michael Loveless, this is Pat Wilkinson up in the booth. Do you got me?
I got you loud and clear.
Michael, this was a fantastic race from you out there tonight. 6.2 seconds ahead of the second place car out here tonight at Daytona. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I just had one goal tonight, and that was to hopefully come out with a win by making the least amount of mistakes, and that was the ultimate goal. And I still had plenty of mistakes in there, but I was able to, I guess, recover from most of them. And it was a good race, good battle between Keith and Derek and all those. It was absolute blast. I absolutely enjoyed that.
Congratulations once again on a fantastic win out here tonight at the World Center Racing Daytona International Super Speedway. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off?
I'd like to thank Meals on Wheels and the Water Wheel Foundation. If you can, please go out and donate and volunteer your time. I'd like to appreciate you for being up here in the booth, all the people watching, and all the fellow drivers, of course. Without them, it wouldn't be fun. Got to have that competition.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us up in the booth once again out here tonight, Michael. Congratulations on the win, and hope to see more of you soon.
Thank you.
Let's get Derek Holochak in here. Derek Holochak, this is Pat Wilkinson up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on a fantastic third-place finish out here tonight at Daytona International Super Speedway on the road course. Talk us through some of it.
It was a fun race with Michael and Keith there. Can't remember which part. I think it was the first handful of laps. Lost it in the second or third turn. Trying to play catch up from there and just burned my tires up at the end and trying to hold on.
Well, I'd say it worked out for you pretty well in the end. Derek Holochak down in third. Congratulations on a fantastic P3 out here tonight. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off?
No, just appreciate you guys putting this on. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us up in the booth, and congratulations.
Thank you.
I do not see Keith Fonseca in here tonight, so we will call it a night there, I believe. Well, folks, you have yet again spent another perfectly good hour and 20 minutes with all of us here at Tier 1 Studios. We thank you all for watching tonight. We hope you've enjoyed. This broadcast was brought to you in part by WIO Outlaw Custom Diecast, the Stand for Wit Foundation, Redline Radio, and Raiders Wasteland, the premier DayZ experience on Xbox, veteran-owned and operated. Raiders Wasteland offering something for every gamer looking to survive the zombie apocalypse. Weekly events for PvE and PvP players, and different maps for all to enjoy. Join Discord today at Raider PvE. RAIDER PvE. This broadcast was also brought to you in part by Rock Bottom Racing, Tier 1 Wraps, Tier 1 Setup Shops, and Tier 1 Studios here on YouTube. My name's Pat Wilkinson up in the booth. This has been Tier 1 Studios in the Wild West Racing League Raiders Wasteland Truck Series. And until next time, goodbye, farewell, and amen. And I just realized my time thing there was the wrong thing. Aces.
Yeah. Fired up. This one's for the drivers. Out in the shop, late night lights, grease on our hands, chasing lap times, every turn, every line we find. Trying to build that edge you feel when you drive. From the blacktop tracks to the dirt out back, we've been putting in work, yeah, we live like that. Not just fast for a lap, we make it last. So when it counts, you're gone on the gas. We don't guess, we know what it takes. Every setup built from the ground, we break. If you want that feel when the car locks in, you're in the right place. Let's go win. Yeah, we built one. Yeah, we built for the win. Hammer down, let it ride, do it all again. From the green flag flying to the checkered drop, with a reason you're leading Tier 1. Set up shop, Tier 1. Take it straight to the front. League nights, open runs, we're the ones you want. Dialed in speed, yeah, we don't miss shots. If you wanna win races, Tier 1, set up shop. Got weekly sets ready, ready to roll. Quality trim sharp, race pace control. Builders in the lab, yeah, they stay on it. Every tweak, every change, we gain on it. Need a custom fit, yeah, we do that too. Built to match your style, what you like to do. And it ain't just speed, it's a team right here. We ride together every lap, every gear, yeah, we test, we tune, we put in the miles. Turn bad weeks into victory smiles. From rookies to pros, we're all about growth. Now fire that motor, let's get to the front. Yeah, we built for the win, yeah, we built for the win. Hammer down, let it ride, do it all again. From the green flag flying to the checkered drop. We're the reason you're leading Tier 1. Set up shop, Tier 1. Yeah, you know the name. When the pressure's on, we bring the game. From the shop to the track, yeah, we don't stop. If you wanna win races, Tier 1, set up shop. See you in Victory Lane. Tier 1, set up shop. Tier 1.